If you're struggling with Etsy sales, AI creators, let's make better Etsy listings like this here. So, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to prepare and package your listings so you can do mockups like this for Etsy. The first thing we want to do is, of course, in the prior video, you saw that we created a baby girl bumblebee set. So the first thing that I love to do with creating listings is number one, you want to go ahead and go to Etsy.com. So we're going to go to Etsy.com and we're just going to browse and take a look at different Etsy listings. So I'm going to type in clip art and we could do like B, and then we could just type that in. Okay, now once we type that in, we'll be able to see different types of listings. So you can see here, this one is a bestseller. So this one has a good listing, and you can look at it and click through to see what different things that they have on the page. Okay, I have a certain format to my listings, which I'm going to show you how I do it. But you can literally make your listings any way you want it. So this is nice. So remember the thumbnail, which is what I call these different photos here, is super important because that is the first thing that people are going to see. Like this is nice because it has a video. So you could go ahead and click in. It clearly lets me know what is all inside of the bundle. So that is the first thing that you want to do. You want to make sure that you just go and get an idea of what good listings look like. And when you look for good listings, you look for listings such as bestsellers. And of course, you could always go to all filters. You could go to digital downloads. You could go to star seller. You can show all results and you'll see the best types of listings here as it pertains to different types of B clip art. And you could also type in here because this is star seller. If you filter out the star and you type in best, now you're able to see best seller. Okay, so now you can see the best seller. So now what I want to do, I'm going to go back into my Canva document and I'm going to get right to it. So the first thing is, this is the background color that we use, but you'll start with a white background. And I want to bring in my different shapes. So I love to have a bottom. And then I always want to add a place somewhere in the middle, which you can make a place saver to have different colors. Now we're going to change this color once we get in our items. So this is the great thing. You can start just grabbing your items straight from here. Now I already have the listing up, so we'll change it up just a bit, but I'm just going to just grab the items just so I can have it floating around. Now, once I have this item pulled, I could just change the color, which is what I would love to do. And then I could always change the background at a different time. So right now, I just want to grab all of these different photos. And for time's sake, I'm just going to shift around to grab all of these up because I want to be able to copy this down here. Okay, but you would drag it one by one. And now I'm just going to rearrange it. And of course, you could always go back to the listings that we looked at. But look, you just rearrange what you have going on. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the listing and we'll go back inside and we'll just rearrange it. So we're going to rearrange this listing and we're going to make it look good. Okay, so now you could put some type of structure around it. And we could also make this wider here, bring this down. And you could just bring your photos, which we have here, which in this case is the clip art, around your listing. So they know so the individuals buying your stuff knows exactly what they're getting. And that's what I want to do. And then what I want to do is now grab the text. So the text here that we're using is Bingo Wood. I could ungroup this. Same thing here. I can ungroup this. And now you just want to go ahead and put in what the actual listing is. So I always list here at the bottom. And please just come up with your own listing because listen, you don't want your listing to look like everybody else's. but this is just how you stand out. So I'm just showing you what I do, and you could list this any type of way. So instead of you having at the bottom, you don't even have to have that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shift this over just so we can move this along and paste this at the bottom. So it didn't paste the full thing, but that's okay. So we'll do high quality down here. And then I'm just going to duplicate this in between. We could do commercial. We'll do commercial use. If you have personal use, you'll do that. And then this is how we'll prepare for the listing. You can add in your logo. In this case, we'll just go ahead and put the 300 DPI. And then you'll put the number of pictures. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's about 13 photos in here. So you'll put the number of PNG files. So in this case, it's 13 PNG files. And then we want to go ahead and type in what our listing is. So you always want it to be big enough so where people will see. So I'm going to put baby girl busy bee pack. Then I always put pack. You could put in what type of pack it is. So we could put watercolor. And we can either put that at the bottom, but we'll put it at the top. And we'll make it smaller. And in this case, I use the effects with the curve. And then I want to put some space in here. So I'm going to go to letter space and line spacing, and we're going to move this up. And then now we're just going to make sure people know it's a digital download. This is super important. So you could just go ahead and add digital download, and then you could just find a download button. So we could put digital download, and then you could go to elements. You could search for download, and you could find a button like this. And now people will know, and you can move this over here. People will know it's a digital download. We could add some of the clothing onto it. And now we have a nice mock-up. We could kind of turn these items different ways. And then you could also stretch out the photos, make them smaller as it makes sense, make it bigger as it makes sense. So we can move kind of some of this. We could fill this in. And I don't even have all the pictures on here. So let me go ahead and add in, I think we have another pacifier. So let me add that in. And then we'll just make this smaller. And we can add this right here. Okay, so now we have this nice set. And then if I want to change the background color, I can. So again, we see the different background colors. So you can make it this nice yellow, this nice faint color. So I always like to make it a little bit lighter so it pops out. So this is the color I'll go with. And this is the type of listing that I'll do. And I can fill in this space. You could also add a background. So if you want to add, like, let's just say yellow background, you can do the same thing. So now you can add in like this type of background. You could also have this, and then we'll position this to the back. And that's a nice kind of background as well. So you don't want anything kind of like checkered, but that's a nice one. This one might be a nice one right here. So let's do that one. So we'll duplicate this and let's test out this other background. Let's see. You can test out this darker one. And then you can also turn the transparency down if you want to. So I like this one better. So I'm going to delete that. And this is the background that I would use. And then I will move some of this stuff over. But now we have the mock-up done. Now the next step I want to do is I want to save this. I'm going to save this page. In this case, it's page 20. Save it as a PNG file. And this is where the magic happens. Hold on, let me fix this. And you want to make sure everything is aligned as well. And then Let's go ahead and put download. We're going to do current page. We're going to download this. And this is where the fun begins. Okay, here's where the fun begins. We're going to go into Etsy. So we want Etsy listing prompt. Okay, so we want to take this prompt here, include SEO. My business name is Digital Fun, and I'm just making this up. Digital Fun clip art. Okay, so now that picture saved, we're going to go to our uploads, and we're going to upload that photo into ChatGPT. I am using the paid version. And now we're going to create an Etsy listing. I'm going to tell it to include SEO. They're going to include keywords and different things like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to my Etsy, and I'm going to go to add listing. When I go to add listing, I'm going to search for a category, and you can see my top categories are already in here. So I have digital prints, I have digital, and then I have clip art and image files. So in this case, I'm going to do, you could do digital prints or you could do clip art and image files. So I'm going to do that. Okay, and I'm going to click continue. We're going to do a digital file, and I'm going to say I made it. It's a finished product. When was it made? And we'll say recently, 20, with an AI generator. And then we're going to click continue. If you're using like Printify or any of those third parties, you'll add production partners. We're going to click continue. We're going to use different keywords in our title. So you'll have to add up to 3. And we could also do that with the help of Etsy. So I'm going to also say, hold on. We got to regenerate. Okay, here it is. And I'm going to say create an Etsy title and include SEO. Okay, and remember, you could also always go back and look at the other listings and look at the titles and different things like that. So we'll look at it's going to create a title. And while it's doing that, we'll look at the different ones. So this one says honeybee. This one says BSVG, just different things like that. So when we go back to creating our listing, we're going to regenerate here. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Regenerate. Let's do regenerate here because we want to create an Etsy title and include SEO. Okay. So here is the SEO title. So we could go ahead and use this here, and then we'll just add this in. Okay. So we still have more characters. You want to fill out the character space, but you want to use keywords. Then we'll upload up to 10 photos. So I use 2,000 by 2,000 pixels, and you want to fill up your photos, and you could also add a video. And this is how you adjust your thumbnail, and your thumbnail is here, but this is what they're going to see. So I would probably make the text bigger so they can see that. And then you will upload your digital file here, and then here's the description. So we use the chat GPT to make the description. So let's take a look at it. Watercolor, baby girl, busy bee clip art, digital fun. That's the name of our business. And we could just go ahead and include that. Anything that you want to make sure that you want to include, you want to include that in here. But all I have to do is copy and paste this here. And once I copy and paste this into it, it's going to put everything I need to have in here. If you have like no refunds, if you have download instructions, you could put that in here. Those are the different things like that. And then you will put your price in here. So you can make it $12. It'll let you know. And you could just add however many SKUs you want, 250. And then you will have your category, which you already have, clip art. You could make one of yours. So we could do card making, scrapbooking, collage, kids, crafts. You could select those. Primary color, we have yellow. And then you could also add your secondary color, which is like a bronze. And then you want to have your tags. So inside of Etsy, we have our tags here. So we could use the same tags. And you also want to make sure that when you use the different tags, you still have 13 left. You want to fill those up. And then this is just your return policy. So no return. And then if you have different organizations in your shop, which I do, you would add it there. So you could do select a section, which I don't have anything. And then you could just add the section here. You would add it and you would say uh, busy bee or something like that. You could save it. I'm not going to save it here. And then it'll automatically renew for $20 and you'll hit publish, or you could hit preview. And let's preview it. Save as a draft. Oh, hold on. I got to digital files. Hold on. I got to fix oh, I have to add a file. So let me just add a file on here. I forgot about that. Your file must be okay. It's giving me an error because I have to really upload a digital file. So let me change the name of the digital file. Okay, here it is. And when your file size is too large, you want to deliver it into a PDF. So here's the name. So you want to change the name. You want to deliver as a PDF. In this case, I'm just showing you an example. So this is just one. And then we're going to do a preview. And now you get to see the preview. Woo, woo. We got our listing and it'll show you all the listings here. So that's how you want to fill it. But this is our preview. We are good. Look at this. You have made your first listing. And if you want to create more listings and learn how to start your own AI clip art store, make sure you comment the word clip art, because I have an AI clip art program that I am doing for a limited time only and for as little as $250. But hurry up and get in because it closes soon. So if you want to make listings that stand out just like this and bestsellers, make sure that you comment the word clip art, and don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.